Hi, we're in the next part. I just want to be done with this whole conversation by 8. I just went to use the bathroom. That's why I'm huffing and puffing. Because there might be a power cut, because they're back to cutting power multiple times a day. I was speaking about how I was treated. I've been getting treated like I'm a prostitute that doesn't want to sleep with clients, even though I'm sitting in a brothel. My poverty has made people treat me like a stubborn prostitute, and they've kept me in this position precisely because they are like, you will eventually capitulate, otherwise how closure. And the people who have done this to me are men and women. However, men, they've gotten juiced up to do this to me because women have not protected me. They've not catered to my needs. They have not cared to protect my dignity. Women have precisely desired that my dignity should be eroded away at. I gave my life to Christ, and so as a result I went celibate while they were still busy tlofo-tlofoing all over the show. And so my celibacy was offensive. It was an affront to their present state of fornication, and for those reasons they were like, my poverty therefore is the perfect opportunity to make me break that proverbial cherry or that proverbial virginity, because coming to Christ I became celibate, so it's like some kind of a metaphoric virginity, a restoration to purity. Yeah, they were like, the best thing that is going to make you finally sleep around or sleep with someone to get ahead, Olokhosha basically, is the fact that we're going to leave you in squalor and poverty until you eventually accommodate some man. And men have been happy to abide by this largely because of the embedded issues that they have with women. The disrespect, the squalor in feminism, even though they think it's rich, they're utterly pitiful and poor, like the Laodicean church. It is a barren ideology. It is bankrupt. It steals from women true joy, but they don't see it as such. However, because men have been tarnished by this feministic movement where women have rejected their femininity in exchange for some pseudo respect from men, because now they are like men, in fighting that, men have left me because they literally wrote me off as one of them. But now she's one of them laying so as a means of his squinch. The wrong girl literally is getting abused by a whole bunch of men bantang squinchy on an ideology essensing bosadi. So when I speak about Proverbs 7, where I'm coming from, ka mosadi, where a bad woman, an immoral woman, mosadi o rabazitsweng ke monna, abaqena ile a monster, is so destructive that she can ruin a country single-handedly and make it look like it's men that did this. Only look at Eve in the garden. Because of her influence and how women have been given power by God to essentially guile men, to beguile them, to mesmerize them, that they might be encouraged to love us easily. Since their curse is to lord over us with an iron fist, when that gift is misplaced, you are getting then a situation where Eve prospers to cause a man that got the instruction first to not eat of the tree, and a man that's been given authority over all the creation, including woman, to allow himself to be subjugated and given different instructions by a woman. A person that's underneath him is giving him different instructions from a person that is above him. God is above man, and then woman, and then man is above woman. And Adam allowed himself to change an ideology because of the beguiling, mesmerizing gift of Eve that was supposed to be used to influence Adam as the wind beneath Adam's wings positively, to help him. God made Eve for Adam as a helper suitable, so he gave Eve mesmerizing powers over Adam in the sense that she can say to a man, let's go right. And the man is like, right looks like a pleasant place to go, only because you said so, my darling, so let's go right. It is the power of a woman's influence over a man, and it is a beautiful, wonderful protection by God over women, so men don't just run amok and do what they want with us. He makes us powerfully able to change their minds, influence them, motion them. A neck is a locomotive of the head, but used in the wrong context. We are dealing with Jezebel, a woman that turns a man away from God, causes him to be a fluffy namby-pamby fishy outside of water, makes him utterly decimate an entire nation's religion and causes them to worship idols, and then loses his reputation as an honorable man because he was a wuss whooped by a woman. woman. The beguiling power that God gave to women to be positively influential over men is used by wicked women to cause men to squander their countries, squander their villages, squander their households. A bad woman is rottenness to a man's bones because she is influential, naturally gifted with beguiling, mesmerizing powers over a man, but she uses them for evil. It is literally similar to having the gift of a seer. It is from God, but Satan uyabarakruta laba seers and convert them into mediums, psychics, soothsayers, disangoma. But there are prophets, there's Jeremiah, there's Elijah. There are people who are given a spiritual gift by God for the kingdom of heaven, and they edify the kingdom of heaven for it. They proliferate it, they pontificate it, they move it forward, they promulgate its agenda, and they grow it. They make beautiful disciples of all nations. But then there are sangomas who extract disciples from the kingdom of heaven. So the mesmerizing power of a woman over a man is similar to the gift of a seer or a prophet. Satan can use it, or God can use it. So when it is in a godly woman, she is indeed the wind beneath his wings, a crown of glory on his head. Her husband has full confidence in her. He is regarded very well at the city gates. She is Proverbs 31. She's Abigail. Abigail convinced David not to commit genocide. She is Esther, who convinced Xerxes to allow the Jews to fight for themselves without any retaliation, to rescue themselves as a people in Persia, when she was married to him. For such a time as this was she set apart for that mission. She is Deborah, who can rescue a nation from demise. A woman's beguiling powers, Deborah slipped into a man's tent seductively to kill him because nobody else could get to him. That power can be used, and he was destructive for the kingdom of God, so for God's people, and he had to be neutralized and eradicated. So a godly woman has got power in that she literally can run an entire country behind a man called the president. Literally, foreign policy, local, national policy in a country being influenced by Madam President, by the First Lady, but don't nobody know, because the husband, the president himself, is the one that writes the executive order. But the wife was the breathing force behind every last jot and tittle letter of that executive decree. That is the power of a woman. That's why God says, men, if you don't listen to your wives, even your prayers will be hindered. A man that does not listen to a woman is inefficient. He doesn't finish off what he's supposed to start. He might be great, but he could be awesome, gargantuan, mighty, if at all he allowed himself to have a helper suitable. But the opposite of that is entirely destructive. Delilah ransacked the most strong man, the strongest man in the town. Jezebel, we know what happened there. These menacing females not only do a bad job on men, not only do a solid on men, but they do a solid on women and children too. They destroy the constitution of men, women, and children in a land because their power is excessive, it is exorbitant, but precisely because it is unseen, given how behind the scenes it tends to be, it is especially destructive. It's like a silent killer. It's like carbon monoxide. It knocks you out, and next thing you find yourself in eternity having never known that there was a toxic gas in the sky that is fatal. A wicked woman is a fatality along the lines of a destructive gas. Ningamboni uyamosha ene abathandi ukuthagatha. They love witchcraft because they love to be destructive behind the scenes. They love to be a gale force wind that you don't see the origin of. They love to hide behind witchcraft and bad men. Next part.